All right, so today I want to go through building a system where you can run monthly, daily newsletters. Probably wouldn't recommend daily, but running a consistent newsletter and reaching out to people in your audience, maybe customers that you've done things with in the past, people that didn't engage but signed up for your newsletter, or if you're in our Outshine program and you're taking advantage of the email boomerang piece of that, getting some information out to those people who have already raised their hands. So from Lead Boomerang, the first thing we're going to do is click on Marketing. And then we're going to go up to the top here and we'll see a couple things. Email campaigns, email templates under the email area. So I want to talk about both. At the end of the day, what you're going to do is an email campaign to your audience. The best way to do it is to first build a template. So if I go to emails and templates, now in our case, we have a whole bunch. For most of our clients, you're probably going to have maybe 2 or 3 most. You might have like a generic newsletter template. You may have a special template perhaps for the holidays. You may have one specifically around Hunter Douglas and when they come out with their new specials. So you can build a couple different templates that all look the same. But at the end of the day, you're going to choose a template or build a template first. Here's ours. So I'm going to open this template. And what you'll see is it's pretty generic, but it has our header, our footer, and then an area for us to actually put in content. So as you can see, pretty generic, right? But having this template means I don't have to rebuild this every month I want to go send a message. So with this template built, I can do that. Now, a couple things here. There is an entire builder, so you can create different things. You can drag over here and add an image if you want to. I'm going to click the trash there. You can add social media icons just by dragging that over. Then you would just fill out the links over here, change the colors, do some different editing related to that. Let me click out of there. There is an area for video. There is an area for an FAQ. You know, you can put a divider in here if you want some sort of a line, change the color of that line to a dark blue. You can see, is it aligned in the center, to the left? You know, those kinds of things. How wide is it? So maybe you only want it to be, 50%. You can put a 50 there, and you can see how it changed the size of that as well. You can also have basically the thickness of it. So there's a lot of editing you can do to make a template that really looks cool, matches your brand, things of that sort. Then, of course, you would just hit the save button up here in the top right, and that would save that template for future use. Obviously, you want to give it a good name here that you're going to be able to go back and remember. Now, once you've built out a template, part 2 is let's create a newsletter to send out to everybody or some sort of e-blast, right? So the easiest way to do that is to go to Campaigns, New Campaign, and the first thing you'll notice here is it's asking me for what template. So I'm going to choose mine, which is, nope, that's not the one. WTMP email template. There it is, the one I just edited today. And it will pull that in. And now I can create an email from this. So I can go in here and say, check out our new affiliate program, where you make 25% recurring revenue when you refer someone to us. Something like that. I can go here, I can click that and turn that into a link. So the URL is https://mylb.net/affiliate. I could give it a title. I can make it open in the same window or a new window. In most cases, emails are going to open in a new window because they're in an email window, not necessarily in a browser window. Or if they're using Gmail, you don't want them to lose their Gmail that they have open. So you'd open again in a new window. That's pretty common. I'm going to hit save. Now I've got that linked over, and let's say we're ready to go. I want to send this out, or I can click here, and of course I can still drag in things that are specific to this email. Let's say we just did a video on our new exterior roller shades, right? We might want to grab a video. Where's video? There we go. Let's say I'll grab a video, drop that in here. Oh, I want the divider to be below that. There, that looks better. Then I click on here. It asks for the link to the YouTube video. There are some other sources, Vimeo, Wistia, and then pure HTML. For the most part, you're probably going to use YouTube. Put the link in to that YouTube video. So I can go here. I can paste in my YouTube link. Obviously not the right video, but you get the idea. Now it's embedded in that particular email. And then I can click the X to get out of that. And then if I want to put something else in, I certainly can. You can do different layouts. So if you want 3 columns, you could add 3 columns here, and add links to each one of those. A lot of really cool things you can do with this. And the best way really to learn is just to get in here and do stuff. But let's say that I've got this ready to go and I want to go ahead and send it. First thing I'm going to do is save this. I'm also going to go ahead and give this a name. And instead of naming it the template, I'm now doing a campaign. So I'm going to call this my affiliate Christmas campaign. All right, so now that I have this assigned to a title of some sort, I am going to click on Send or Schedule. Now I have a couple options here at this point. Not sure what happened to my camera, but that's okay. I can send it right now. I can schedule it, let's say for tomorrow morning or next Tuesday or whatever. Just pick that day, pick that time, and it'll be scheduled. Sender email is who you want the email to be coming from, the email address you want it to be coming from. This might be a generic email like an info at or something that you have, or maybe the owner, whatever you want to put there. Sender name is optional. Some of our clients with their business, they're very face forward to their business and they want to actually put their name there. You could also put your business name here. Subject line, very important. Obviously, this is what's going to grab their attention. So you want to write a really good subject line. And then the preview text is something people tend to forget. So a subject line is a short 3 or 4 words about what this particular email is about. And then the preview text, in most emails now, you get this extra little blurb that explains a little bit more about the email, gives them a preview of what the email is about. So you definitely want to fill out this preview text as well. Don't repeat what's in the subject line, but make it a little bit different. And then one other cool thing I will say here is, let's say in the subject line, you could click on this little tag here, go to contact and first name. That would put the recipient's first name in the subject line. So it would say, John, check out our affiliate offer, something like that, right? So there are some really cool things you can grab out of this contact area. So that's the big one. You don't want to use these other ones down here. User would be you, so you don't want to do that. You want to use contact, but you can get their first name, company name, address, that kind of stuff. So the other thing to note about using these tags is if you don't have the person's first name filled in on the contact record. Let's say you just have their email and phone number for some reason. This will stay blank. So this email would come across saying, check out our affiliate offer. So if you had a comma here, John, comma, check out our affiliate offer, then it would come across to that person with the comma first, with no name in front of it. So be cognizant of those kinds of things as well. All right, I'll talk about these in a minute, but I wanted to go back up to the top and talk about these last two. So batch schedule is the same as schedule, but it batches out how many at a time you want to send out. So for instance, we had a client that had 11,000 email addresses, and we could schedule this for tomorrow morning and just shoot out 11,000 messages, right? But probably not the best from a resource standpoint for the server. And just the fact that everything's going out at once, you could increase spam requests, things like that. So batch schedule is another option. In this case, what we did for this client was we did 750 emails, and then we repeated it every 1 hour. Actually, we did every 15 minutes. Now that I think about it, we did every 15 minutes. So now 750 would go out over the course of the day. Some people would get it at 6 a.m. Some people would get it at 3 p.m. It's just a little bit easier way for this server to manage what's going out. And then, of course, you still give it the start date in this case. You can also say only send between 9 o'clock and noon. And if there's any left after noon, then just start them again at 9 o'clock the next day. So some really cool things you can do with the batch schedule. And if you have a large audience, saying over like 2,500, you might want to consider the batch schedule just to roll them out a little bit easier. The last one here is RSS schedule. We really don't have very many people to use this. The way that this would be used is typically tied to your website. If a new piece of content comes out on your website, you could build a template that automatically puts that into a newsletter and automatically sends. Every time you post a new blog or new piece of content on your site, it could automatically generate an email campaign, pull in that blog post, and then send it out, which is pretty cool, but a little too often, maybe, depending on obviously how much content you're putting out or how much we're putting out for you. So these are the big three right here. And most people use schedule or batch schedule. All right, I'm going to go back over here to schedule because I want to talk about the last piece here, which is the recipient. So under recipient, you have an option just to choose who you want that to go to. So if you've got 10 people that you want to send it to, this is probably the best way to go about it. Just choose those 10 people in here, do a search for them, and add them. More than likely, you're going to want to send them to a smart list. So we may have to take a step back and build a smart list, but I'll go ahead and click it because I have a smart list here called newsletter. So when I click on that, now I can say my newsletter smart list. So the reason I have this smart list is because I may have people that are still a contact, but they've opted out of receiving the newsletter from me. I still want to keep them as a contact, but I don't necessarily need them. They don't want to receive my newsletter, right? So we can build a smart list, and as your agency, we can build you a smart list. That's not a problem. Newsletter is probably the most common one, but maybe you have a smart list for only new construction or only past customers, or if you're really using the system in depth, only customers who bought shutters. So these are things that you can start to really segment down and say, hey, we've maybe it's roller shades, and now you have the way to motorize those. You could send a message just to people who purchased roller shades from you in the past and say, hey, we've got this really cool new motorization thing that you might be interested in, right? So there's some really cool things you could do with smart lists. And if you want to learn more about building a smart list, we can certainly help you with that. Lastly, choose contacts from tags. So you can look for people that are tagged with a certain way. This is a great way to start segmenting people out by what they purchased. Shutter, so you tag the person as shutter, you tag the person as roller shade, you tag the person as blinds, etc. You could also tag a person by kitchen or living room or motorization or Google Home, or Alexa, all those kinds of things. There's a lot of different ways that you could tag people and then send them very segmented, very specific information about upgrades, repairs, whatever it happens to be. So, all right. Once you have all of this filled out, I don't have everything filled out here, so you can see my schedule button is not highlighted. But once you fill everything out here, you'll be able to click the schedule button and you'll be finished. The newsletter will go out at that particular time. And I keep calling it newsletter, but it's any sort of email campaign that you want to get together can go out at the time that you have it scheduled. So I think that's it for the email campaign. That's how you do it. One last thing, you really should have your information at the bottom, and you should have an unsubscribe button. As you can see, we've got it pretty small and down in the bottom. It has to be there so that people can click on it. And again, this is something we can help you create. It is just a link to a trigger link, we call it. And if somebody clicks on that, we have an automation that unsubscribes them from any future receiving. So you have to have that button, or you have to have that link in there, typically in the footer, typically on the right or somewhere like that. So that is it for Email Builder, for doing email campaigns. If you have questions beyond this, please reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help you. If you want to learn more about smart lists or how to set up the unsubscribe button, those sorts of things, reach out to us. We're happy to help you as well. Hope you have a great day.